Hello, welcome to your daily dose of truth to hear. I am Melanie Keenan. Today's program is Truth Talk, a Conversation. You'll notice it's just me. I don't have another guest with me this week. Well, it's because it's almost been a year since COVID 19 started ravaging our lives. The way we work, the way we live, the way we interact socially. But most of all, it ravaged our families. The way we get together, the way we celebrate, and the way we support our loved ones when they're sick, especially if they, let me mute that, especially if they have contracted COVID and if they passed away from it, especially during the early months of this whole pandemic. I invite you today to honor those with me that we lost. I am live, so feel free to chat with me. I'm going to share some of my story, and join me in sharing yours. For many like myself, our loved ones passed away about this time. And from my heart to yours, I understand your grief. It seems like just yesterday. The difference in the way we were able to mourn, to support our loved ones was something that seemed, even to this day, inhumane. The fear of the unknown of this disease at that time made regulations and rules so hard. So while the news and the politicians, they say they can remember our loved ones, but I'm getting tired of hearing them as statistics or something that they use to appear to care. You know, the one thing that I just get unnerved about is that card that gets pulled out of a gentleman's pocket that says, here's the numbers of people that have passed away. Well, my sister, among other members of my family, are among those numbers. So this is our time to share. Here's my sister. Her name is Beverly. She passed away May 1st, 2020, just 2 weeks shy of her 57th birthday. So she will be 58 years old this April 17th, which is Saturday. Hence why I am honoring her today with her story and hoping that you can chat with me about your story and remember our loved ones that was so harshly taken away from us. Let me show you this fun picture, all right? Now, here's a look into my family that you probably haven't known, and I don't have a lot of pictures today, but I have this one I found of me in the middle, and then Beverly is my sister in the yellow shirt. That is Beverly. And Donna, my other sister, in the blue dress. That is my sister Donna. We were young, and this isn't our whole family, but this picture has these two in it. And so there's Beverly and I. I guess I was maybe, I don't know, 10, 11 at that time. So we were always very close, Beverly and I. It was a sisterhood like none other. We did everything together. We shared everything together. Matter of fact, when I moved away, as a young teen, I moved away, and it was Beverly and I that stayed in touch. the whole time. And she came as an adult. She came and moved to North Carolina. She was in New York. She came and moved to North Carolina to be with me, and it was just something that I knew. It was me and Beverly against the world. To say she was my sister doesn't even say it all. She was my confidant, my supporter, my encourager, and my friend. And she dealt with dialysis and kidney failure all of her life. And so much so, they said, don't ever have a child. Don't ever have a child because you'll die giving childbirth. But she wanted a child so much, and she did. That's Beverly with her daughter, Crystal. She had that daughter. She named her Hope, Crystal Hope, because she told me she was crystal clear that God wanted her to have a daughter or a child. And hope, because her hope was in the Lord. Against all odds, she believed that God would see her through a pregnancy and a birthing of a child. And Crystal was her life. She was her world. And so when Crystal became, I don't know, an adult teenager, 18, I guess, maybe 16, she moved to New York, back to New York. Beverly went to New York with her. Of course, what mothers will do, they move with their child. And we talked every single day. It's probably been 10 years since Beverly moved to New York and I stayed in California. And it was the only time in our life we were truly separated from one to another. And tell you though, we talked every day, every morning, every night. If we didn't talk to each other, it's because something was wrong. And then we prayed and we followed up. Because again, we had hoped that she was going to come back to California. We'd hoped that my niece, Crystal, would come to California and just regroup, start again. We're all getting older up there, been through some stuff and was missing each other. But what happened is Beverly got sick, kidney failure, strokes. Things started to unravel, and she winded up in a rehab center. And here's a picture of her. This is one of the last pictures of her looking well. This is about a week before she passed. And she was about to get out of the rehab center, but she was there to recover. And we were looking forward to going home to be with her daughter when COVID hit. If you have any experience, any comments, feel free to join in. And so COVID hit, and she called me and she said, Melanie, do you know what this COVID thing is? And I said, yeah, they're locking and loading, and you probably won't be affected since you're in rehab. And she said, no, they're locking us in our rooms. Like, we have to stay in our rooms. We can't go to the group room and we can't do activities. Everything's in the room. And I said, well, that's all right. It won't last long. And we laughed about it. And then about 2 to 3 days later, maybe a week later, we got the call and Beverly said, well, they're bringing COVID patients here. And I said, no, like, they can't do that. She said, yeah, the hospitals are flooded and they're saying that they're bringing COVID patients here. And so they're going to be divided in another hallway. So we're going to be safe. And I said, well, do they have their own staff? And she said, no, but the staffs are going to wear, all the gowns and gloves. And she said, we're going to be all right. And so, well, Beverly, we'll pray protection over you. She said, yeah, they're going to take care of us here. And we continued to talk about 2 days. And she got weaker. She got sick. She said they were concerned that she had contracted COVID at this point. And I said, well, how? You haven't been anywhere outside of your room. She said, well, the staff got it. There's a lot of staff that's not here because they're sick, and one of my nurses contracted it from the other hallway. So in that rehab nursing center, my sister contracted COVID. Here's a picture, the last picture taken of her and her daughter. This was right when she started getting sick with COVID. And that's her daughter, Crystal, and my sister. And that's the last well picture, if you can say well, of my sister. The next day that picture was taken, I called to check on Beverly, and she was gasping for air. She was coughing. I said, Beverly, what are they going to do? Are they going to take you to a hospital? She said, no, we're not going to do that because it's too dangerous. And I think they think I already have COVID, so I would just contaminate people. And then they took her somewhere. I don't know where. They transported her to some hospital, after all. And then the next call I got was like 3 days later. I didn't know where she was. I had no idea. They just said, she's been transported to a COVID hospital. And if you hear from her, great. If not, just know she's passed. And I thought, what? Her daughter could not find out. They wouldn't tell her daughter where she was or what to do or anything. And so we were just in limbo. And then I got the call, and it was Beverly. It was her nurse. She said, your sister's not going to make it. Just want you to know that. They brought her back to the nursing home. And it's just a matter of time. And I said, put her on the phone. She said, well, she can't talk. I said, I don't care. Put her on the phone. I want to talk to her. And I talked to her. Got to tell her how much I love her. I could hear her grasping for her breath. And she said, I love you. Very weak and frailly. That was May 1st, 2020. And she passed away on the phone with me. And this whole thing just made me feel like, how do we do this as a society? That we expect loved ones. Her daughter wasn't able to be by her side. We weren't able to have a burial. There was a funeral site that we got to put up. That was the picture in the front, and people were able to log in and say their blessings or their statement. But that was basically the ending. Oh, here's her daughter now, Crystal. Crystal says that she loved playing bingo and doing arts and crafts. Oh my gosh. Crystal wanted to be a guest here today, but she could not be here due to having some physical problems of her own. She couldn't be on camera, but I'm glad you feel up to texting or chatting me today, Chris. She did love playing bingo and doing arts and crafts, and it's a wonderful thing, to have those memories. And if anyone listening has lost a loved one, especially in the way which we did, where you couldn't be there, there's a comfort knowing, at least for us, that Beverly is with Jesus. She was saved by the blood of Jesus. And if your loved one was saved, called called by God to go home, there is comfort and peace in that. There is not a day that goes by we don't miss them. And that's okay. Don't let people tell you that it's wrong to mourn, that it's wrong to miss them. Just go on with your life. You really got to go on with your life, but you don't go on without them. There's not a day that goes by that I don't have a conversation with my sister. And I say, I wish you were here. Or, wow, Beverly, you and I would really enjoy this craft. You know, um, Amanda is on as well, and she is a daughter to Beverly as well. And she says she loved puzzles. Yeah, she did. I tell you what, I think there was probably a puzzle still on your kitchen table or wherever the table was in your home, guys, because she was doing a puzzle before she went into the rehab. So I'm pretty sure that she got me doing puzzles again in my old age. I normally didn't do puzzles a lot, but she got me started again, and so that was fun. But she always did the outside edges first, no matter what. You couldn't start the middle of the puzzle without doing the outside edges all the way around completely first. So that was that was always funny to me. It does make it easy, but so I don't know, Crystal or Amanda, if you want to talk about anything else, feel free. Oh, so there was a puzzle. Amanda said that they finished the puzzle for her. There was a puzzle. So I knew it. There had to be a puzzle out, just the way it was always going to be with Beverly. Um, and Crystal wanted it says this. I remember when she got her electric wheelchair, watching her, oh no, steer it. We had so many laughs together. I'm going to tell you what, I can't imagine Beverly in a electric wheelchair because she was just a bad driver. She never got her license, but she was in the grocery store carts at one point with me, and I think she ran into almost every aisle. So I just I think that would have been so much fun to see her trying to do an electric wheelchair. But yeah, the thing is, remember your loved ones. The one thing we try to do when we lose someone is we just want to put them away. We want to keep our memories to ourselves, and we don't want to talk about them, and we put pictures of them away. And that's not the healthiest thing to do when you're mourning. It's better to talk about them, to keep them going in our memories and pass them down from generation to generation so that people can know, hey, this is who your aunt was. This is who your grandma was. This is who your cousin was, your dad, your mom. You got to keep them alive through sharing their stories, showing their pictures, because it's their life that made our life what it is today. Now, I'm a lot of things, and I thank God for every bit of it that I am. Excuse me. But I know Beverly played a large hand in me being someone who could understand and relate to people, having compassion, staying kind, and not being a ruthless person. Beverly taught me that. She taught me how to take the hard punches and still have the joy of the Lord. She showed that to me every day. She taught me how you can disagree with something but still love it. She taught me how to be innocent. Crystal says, I remember Mom used to love watching the kids doing their talent show. Oh, she's talking about my three youngins. Yes, she loved watching those kids doing their thing. Um, I used to take my kids to LA, about 3 hour drive from where we lived, to do acting lessons and stuff like that, and auditions and shows and recordings. And she would always ride with me. She was my ride partner. She would ride with me. We'd drop the kids off to their things, and then we'd go shopping or we'd go out to eat. And then when we picked the kids up, she wanted to hear everything they did. She was always invested. Tell me what you did. What did it do? And she didn't care if they rehearsed with her during the week 25 times in a row. She was right there, invested in the kids. She was a good aunt. She laughed a lot. Um, so Chelsea Keenan. She got on and said those were the best days. Oh my goodness, yes, Chelsea. They were the best days. Being family. That's something that I think this whole COVID thing really tried to rob us. Family gatherings where everybody got together and hugged and ate everything and shared stories and did things together. And now everybody's got to separate, and you're not supposed to come over. If you do, you got to wear a mask. And this year has robbed us of some of the best days that we could have had. So, what is this show about? It is in honor of my sister, who in most days I would have told you I helped raise her, even though she was older than me. I took care of her. But in all actuality, I think she taught me some lessons that, through her life, saved me. Saved me from becoming bitter and hard and callous. Saved me from becoming someone who doesn't laugh. I wouldn't laugh for a long time, and then there comes Beverly walking in the room, and I would be busting out laughing immediately, and the kids would be laughing, and having fun, taking time out to just have fun. Game night. Oh my goodness, she loved game night. So I encourage you, if this time of the year is coming around and you are feeling like you're losing your loved one all over again, just know there's another family out there that gets it. Her birthday will be Saturday. And she'll have died a year, May 1st. And it seems like just yesterday. But keep your loved one's memory alive. Keep reminding them of who they were. Keep reminding your family. Do the things that they used to do. Crystal says that her mom liked being an usher at church. She loved ushering at church. Oh my goodness, she loved that. I never, that's not where I am called to be. So, but she would go up and put on that usher jacket and show up for work at church. And she was the happiest person just to say hi to people, show them where they're to sit, to take them tissues if they needed tissues, or take up the offering. She said it was an honor given to her by God to be able to serve in that way. She absolutely, Crystal, loved ushering at church. And now she's in heaven with the Lord. And we are thankful for that. I ask Father God to comfort all of us in this season where many of us are saying, wow, it's been a year already. May Jehovah Shalom comfort our family and yours. And I thank Crystal and Amanda and Chelsea for coming on and sharing sharing the memories of someone who loved great and loved innocently. I want to share with you just some last things. Um, it was so beautiful. I got these flowers as a gift when Beverly passed, and I put them in the vase. And then one day I was mourning, and I thought, what good can come out of this? Because it was so hard not to be able to bury your loved one. And it's beauty. I call this beauty for ashes. And that's the thing. The ashes, well, that's our loss. But the beauty of it is being able to remember fondly, being able to share and rejoice that they're with the Lord today. And I also wanted just to share a couple of the memorial comments. Chelsea lit a candle in honor of her aunt, and Amanda lit a candle in honor of her mom, and Ashley Carmen lit a candle and said she will be greatly missed. She was an amazing friend and mother and have enough memories to last a lifetime. And I do hope Ashley is rejoicing and finding joy in the memories. And Crystal, her daughter, my lovely niece, says, I am Beverly's daughter. I miss my mother so much, but I know deep down in my heart that she is no longer suffering and in no more pain. Mom, I just want you to know that I loved you with all my heart and soul, and that will never even change, even though you are gone. But I know you are still with me in my heart. I love you so much. Say hi to the family that you have joined in heaven. And then my tribute, and I'll end with this. Hey, Bev, I still, even after a year, miss talking with you each morning and evening. I miss hearing your giggle at the slightest thing and you actually listening to how my day went. I'd always hoped you would move back to Cali and we would travel and create together again. You are with the Lord now, and I still wouldn't want you to come back to earth for me. But I do look forward to going to be with the Lord and rejoicing with you there. I love you, Beverly, and I am so thankful for our last. I love you. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you next time on your daily dose of truth to hear.